So I have two adoring, lovely people here. What is your name?
So I'm Dave, and this is Meg.
Meg, how you doing? And they're both Tesla owners.
Yep,
she is the Model 3 owner. He is the Model X owner, and he told me that he has the most mods ever in a Tesla. I said, well, I got 28, but until I saw his car, oh, he got me beat.
Yeah, so I say that jokingly because my modifications are really for accessibility.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some to make it cool, but mostly it's to make it work for me in a wheelchair.
Right.
But yeah, it is a lot of work that went into it to make it happen. Luckily, there's a company here in Northern Virginia that was able to do it for me.
Right.
Shout out to them, Driver Rehab Center of Excellence.
Okay.
They do great work. So what I have is really two different things that allow me to use the vehicle.
Okay.
Besides the typical hand controls that every wheelchair-dependent person has to use.
All right.
So of course, I have the hand controls for the throttle and for the steering, but I also have a platform next to the driver's seat that goes up and down. So I can shift myself onto the platform. The platform takes me up to the height of the driver's seat.
Oh my
And then I can shift into the driver's seat.
Wow, look at this.
And then coming out, I do the opposite.
Wow, look at this right here. Oh my God. That is amazing. You said you're only one of three that has something like this?
I think so. The first guy that did an X for a wheelchair was here in Northern Virginia. Great guy. He let me check out his so that I could figure out if it was going to work for me.
Yeah.
And then I did mine. And I know there's another girl also in Virginia, but Southwest Virginia,
right,
who also did an X. And we all have sort of the same adaptations.
Right.
So I mentioned the platform that takes me up, but that doesn't do anything for my chair. But this contraption in the back comes out, grabs my chair, and pulls it into the center of the vehicle and holds it there while I drive. And then when I park, it does the opposite. It comes out, presents its chair to me.
Right.
I do the whole platform thing, and I get back in the chair. It's not easy. I'm a quad, so I don't have hands or strong arms.
Right.
But it's enough to make it workable, and that's really an awesome thing.
So,
and Tesla self-driving is great for reducing fatigue. We took it down to North Carolina, and it was much less exertion than it would have been on me had I driven the entire way.
So who did the most driving? Who did the most driving?
I did all of it.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're fine with that? Were you a little nervous?
Oh no, I'm never nervous with him. He's
Really?
an awesome driver.
Are you from Japan, by the way?
I am.
Okay.
How could you tell?
Well, I saw the hat. I mean, I spent my time in Korea in the army, but that's for another story. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm lost without words. I just did not know this is a functionality was available in the Tesla.
Teslas are, I mean,
I've never seen anything like this. I'm sorry I'm talking over you. My mind is, I'm trying to compress what you just told me, like driving down to North Carolina. I'm like, I have never in my 62 years on the face of this earth have heard of anything like this.
Teslas are great vehicles for people with disability in general, I would say. When you're a little on the higher end of disability, this is the only really cool vehicle that I found that I really wanted and worked for me in my wheelchair and my needs specifically.
Right.
But any Tesla, I think, if you can get into it, it has a lot going for it for people in wheelchairs. From the adaptive height suspension to the Falcon doors on the X to the driving assist. It's all very helpful.
How long did this install take, by the way?
6-8 weeks.
And so you was relying on the 3 at the time?
No, she has a 3. I have a couple other vehicles that I can use. I have a modified Ford Explorer called an MXV that's set up for a manual chair.
Wow.
And I have 2 Toyota Siennas that are set up for power chairs.
This is phenomenal.
I use a power chair most of the time.
So what is that button in the door right there that I'm looking at?
The keypad? Or the 4 buttons?
Yeah, the 4 buttons.
So forward.
Forward.
2 of the buttons are for the wheelchair lift.
Okay.
And go ahead and do that. 2 of the buttons are for the my lift. That takes me up and down.
Okay.
And then you want to run that one back in? Wow. So that pulls my chair in and brings it in to where I can close the doors. And it holds it there for the whole drive.
Oh my God, look at that.
So if anybody's interested in this kind of modifications, I mentioned the place that did it.
Yeah.
But I'd be very happy to talk to them as well.
Mention it again so I can get the site so I can put it on the channel.
Driver Rehabilitation Center of Excellence.
Okay.
And they're here in Northern Virginia, and they do great work.
Wow, man, that is awesome. I'm glad I saw this with the doors closed, but I never truly appreciated until I see this now.
The actual equipment, the lift and the platform, are made by a company in Canada called Adapt Solutions.
Yeah.
And they have other adaptive equipment that they manufacture and sell as well.
Right.
But you still need a good shop to put it in and make it fit for you.
Wow. So we have Tesla people leaving. We was at a meetup, and that's how I ran across this gentleman. And this is just amazing.
Yeah, one of them is tall enough that he has to be in the front, but my daughter fits fine in the back. The detection of the car is on, and then periodically puts out a puff of air. Is it powered? It is. It's also rechargeable. So the plug is not plugged into it, but it is right now. And that little can hanging out in the center is the power cord.
Well, again, thank you so much. I'm impressed. I mean, as far as modifications, you are the modified king, and I'm just a peon living in your space.
It's a different kind of modification. If you haven't checked out his car, it's amazing. My favorite is the subwoofer. I think it's such a clean install. Looks great.
Look at it. We have these exotic cars rolling in here. Wow. Again, thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. Of course. That is so awesome.
Of course, and if you want to reach out to the channel, and he can put you in contact with me.
Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.